Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Sabado Session Podcast. This is one of our Sheffield series, number 3. So we have go the legend killer, Natalie. How are you
I
doing?
like the intro. Hello.
So how are you doing, Natalie?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
We're doing great. We're doing great. We're doing great. So I'm just gonna get straight into it, right? I'm not gonna beat around the bushes. You came to world, you obliterate everybody. How did that happen?
Uh Man, I don't know. I guess I've just felt like I wanted to put together a really good meet for, to show that I am an international competitor, and finally all the cards just aligned. I was able to have a great coach with Steve Denovi from PR's Performance, and had legendary game day handlers, Arian, Big Mike, all those guys in the back. And so when all the pieces aligned, the performances came together and had a lot of fun.
Great. So before even I know I came out straight by you beating everybody at world, but before that, there's a story behind it, all right? So for our listeners, let me take you guys back. Natalie was in the USAPL when their marriage split.
Yeah, the divorce happened.
So when the divorce happened, Natalie decided to go to USAPL. Can you just talk us through what made you stay in the USAPL? Because a lot of Americans are saying nowadays they stayed in USAPL because where the competition was. But if I'm right on your position in terms of your weight class, the competition is not in the USAPL, is where the real powerlifting is. So how did you decide? Why did you decide to stay in the USAPL?
Yeah. So when that happened, that was 2022-ish. And I think it was end of 2021, 2022-ish. And I literally had just kind of got, I guess, bigger in the powerlifting scene. Like I literally hadn't done a nationals. I had done one pro meet, the VA Pro, and I had wanted to kind of prove myself in the competition I already had been doing. I had one head-to-head competitor where I had won every single meet against her, but we had one last competition to kind of go against, and that was going to be nationals, which was my first national opportunity to try to win. So I saw that as a stepping stone to earn a spot potentially to go to Worlds, where I needed to finish up some business first, because like I didn't really see myself as a strong international competitor at all. I barely saw myself as a national competitor. So that was why I wanted to stay originally in USAPL, because I felt like, I've done a really nice local meet, a pro meet, and I haven't done nationals yet. So I needed to do that before I could think about competing with the ladies on the world level.
So were you there sitting and almost like tracking these ladies' performance on your side, thinking, okay, I need to get to these numbers to be able to be ready with them?
I definitely wanted to be ready. I did not feel ready. And I can tell you, like, a lot has changed with my not only strength, but mentality and training on and off the platform. So like I would, watch Yod compete when she did the junior worlds, and I've watched what was it? Uh who else was it? I think the lady from Spain, and then Great Britain as well. I've just watched Bobby compete for so long. So I've watched them all just crush it. And I felt like I needed to do, focus on myself a little bit before I tried to compete with them, because I wasn't just quite there.
Mm. So were you like, let's say now when in the if you have any question, you can jump in, right? Don't just wait for me to talk because I
That's
can tell
fine.
you stuff. So when you came over, of course, you did your PNAT and then you qualified for World and at the World Championship, were you expecting people again at the time? Joy, I mean, which Joy Namani is almost, I mean, she's the best 57 in
Yeah.
history, period. Do you know what I mean? She doesn't have no equal. So I'm not just saying it because I'm Brits, because a lot of people will be listening to this. Oh, you're saying it because you're Brits. No, I'm talking about in terms of like the numbers she's done on the platform, the world championships she's won. Do you know what I mean? And she has been so dominant for a very, very long time. Was it something, an incentive for you as well when you crossed over thinking, okay, to be up against someone like that and beat a person like that on the world stage is a reason.
Yeah, I think like why I do powerlifting is to compete against the best, because I don't want to just, win easy meets. That's not really fun. I'd rather win against really, really great competitors. So when I watched Joy and Jod kind of go head to head at Sheffield last year that made me want to compete even more with them. So I was a little disappointed when Joy went up a weight class. Would have been fun to see her in the D7s, but obviously she had a great meet regardless. But it is definitely an incentive to compete in the IPF.
So what was your experience for Malta? The whole world championship itself, because a lot of people, they don't give the world championship the credits it deserves, because they just think like, oh, it's powerlifting, it's boring sport, world championship, it doesn't matter, and all of that. So what was your
that was your first international meet, full stop, as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was really, really cool. Like there is not a meet that I've done that even compares to it. And I mean, we'll see how Sheffield is, but Worlds is just special because you have not only the high caliber athletes that are there, it's like you're meeting like all these crazy strong men and women, but it's just like the production value is insane. And the stakes are insane too, because there's a reason why you go into the gym and train every day. Like you have some sort of goal, and everyone's goal who's at Worlds is to be the best in the world. So you have that atmosphere, and that's kind of just so electric. And that makes me excited to just get super serious for like 3 hours and just knock out these lifts. So it was just an insane experience.
But in terms of like now, if we move to the quality of the meat, the judging, and all, the reason I'm touching the judging, because I only touch the subject of judging when it comes to Americans. By the way, I don't touch the subject with anybody else. The only reason I do that, because the divorce is there. There's 2 kids from 2 different marriages now.
True.
So, and the judging is different. So especially you came from USAPL and jumped to the IPF, where judging is in a different world. How did that affect you, or was it in your mind thinking, oh, the judging is tougher here, I should probably tweak this, I'll probably tweak, because I know Steve, I mean, again, a few times I've spoken to Steve on the DM, he's a great guy, and I'm sure that was something that was considered before you even switching over. Yourself as an athlete, how did you deal with that?
Yeah, that's for sure. I didn't even think about that till you brought it up, but actually there was like some small adjustments, because like I didn't really have a problem in the USAPL. I would sometimes be borderline with my depth, probably because I had so many injuries with hip pain and all this crap. But when I started working with Steve, we fixed not only the pain, but my kind of squat and descent to the hole, so I could squat deeper, because it is a little bit of a different threshold. It's probably the strictest judging for a reason. So there was like some adjustments we did make, and then obviously elbow depth too, just to make sure that I wouldn't get red lighted on that, because that was new. And then nothing really changed on deadlifts, but there always was that kind of like, okay, make sure that you're hitting the standards, you're good in training, you'll be good on the platform type of mindset.
Was there anything in particular you were worried about going into Worlds? Was there any lift, any like pains, any nagging issues in the back of your head going into that? Obviously, because people use this a lot. People are like, oh, the travel, the international, this, it's the first time. Will they? Will she? That's always in the back of people's heads, isn't it?
Right. And honestly, no, for the first time, like ever in the history of lifting, like I felt so confident going into that meet. And I think that was just because of who I had around me. And I know I trusted all my training I did. So for the first time, I just felt crazy confident on the platform. And then additionally with the travel, since it was my first like international meet, I just prepared ahead of time. I packed like I paid so much money for my checked bag. Like I packed so much like protein shakes. So I had all my drinks, I had like my food. And I just got there a couple days early so I could adjust to the time zone difference. And then I just felt kind of locked in by the time Monday rolled around.
But in terms of like my next question is like, in terms of like, again, this is powerlifting in the women's side as well, on the IPF side and or the USAPL side. The reason for that, again, as I said, because you know the best of both worlds, right? So what's your take in terms of like the quality of lifting in both sides?
I do think it's like I think the IPF side for women's is definitely more competitive, just at that level, because like every single woman on the IPF is so strong. Like if you look at their dots, or IPF points, I guess the GL points, that's like crazy high compared to the USAPL, while they're obviously strong lifters in both. And then on the men's side, obviously it's kind of a toss up on weight classes, but there were some really strong guys at USAPL who are just coming over now to compete at the world level with the IPF guys, because there's kind of the shift where everyone is trying to move over and go to the world stage now. So As far as the competitiveness, I think that IPF and Powerlifting America is just going to be even stronger in the coming years.
I think
Was there anything at World you didn't like? You know, we've covered the likes. Was there anything you thought that could have been better, or I didn't like the way that was done, or how that worked out?
I'm
this is
trying.
by the way,
Don't
Natalie,
worry.
this is a safe place. Be
Yeah,
honest.
don't worry. He's already blocked me on Instagram. He won't block you. You're fine.
Okay. There's nothing that I disliked whatsoever with the meet, with the venue, with anything like that. The food options were good too. I think I had a good time all around there. I did not enjoy the post press conference interview that I did with Powerlifting America that much, but besides that, everything else was really, really great.
They brought some of them Americanisms across, though, didn't they? Like yeah.
Yeah.
I was watching some of you guys. I remember walking past, and I think a few of you were doing interviews, and everyone was just like, "What the fuck am I doing here?" Just
Yeah. I'm trying not to get anyone upset, but yeah.
I
Jimmy
think
Kimmel show, powerlifting edition.
I think one of the things that they did again, right? Some people are really good beyond in front of cameras and the mic, you know what I mean? And they speak and you can see the flow. But some people, it's not just because they don't want to, it's just because like they just not in that mindset to be in front of a camera. And then when they were shoving that camera in front of all their lifters, I was just thinking like, fuck me. You know what I mean? These are Michael Jordans or something.
Oh my God.
So anyway, so leading up to the world championship, of course, Natalie, you come in, you won the world championship, you are a world champion. One of the things like not many people will say this on this planet. I think I've been saying this to a lot of American over the years. I said, as much as you can be strong in America, if you're not a world champion, it don't mean nothing. Do you know what I mean? That is almost like a legacy that we all build as athletes going forward. And now there's Sheffield, and you have qualified for Sheffield. Before literally me and Indy got into the Sheffield conversation, is you watching Sheffield last year, sitting in America, how did you feel?
Well, I wish that I could have been there just to see it in person, honestly. So I just thought that the level of competition was insane and I wanted to be there. It was really amazing to see kind of a different take in powerlifting too, because it's always like weight class battles or GL points. But this time it was like, okay, how strong literally are you in the world, period, of all time? And that was really, really awesome to see. So I'm very excited to finally be there in person.
I'll be honest with you. I watched the live stream as well. The live stream does not do it justice.
Yeah, that's what I feel here too.
It just like, so you said we were sat there. I remember having this conversation with the lads as well. I'm like, what the fuck is this glow sticks? Like, what are we watching here? Like, that's me being honest. I was like, this is a bit, what the fuck's going on? And then the music went down. It went dark. The screen, the actual stage lit up. Everyone had their fucking glow sticks in their hand, and I was like, you know what? I'll take it back.
Yeah,
like you can literally taste the atmosphere. It was so thick. Like everyone was screaming and shouting, and the women's side was actually more like was better than the men's side for me, because the amount of world records that were broken in the first like 10 minutes of the women's fly, I was like, what the fuck is going on here?
It was bonkers because when the women came out on the squats, their first attempt, most of them, it was no far off a world record.
Yeah.
And most of them, they went for that world record on the second.
Yeah.
And then we all just like, what the heck is happening? How come these ladies got this strong in 6 months to do this? Well, what have they been eating? And it was bonkers. It was something like, I'm sorry to say this to the listeners and the viewers, I cannot explain the Sheffield experience. Even if you asked, you just have to be there. Get your ticket, be there.
They'd already spent the 5K in their head, so they had to get the race.
Trust me. So now leading to is one of the biggest powerlifting meet on the planet. So my first question is to you is, what specific record are you planning to go for? Because you're a record breaker.
Just say yes, all of them.
Yes, correct. Oh, I don't know. Let's see how training goes. Like I literally broke the world record by, I don't know how much, I don't know, 10 kilos, whatever it was previously. And I did not break any individual lifts. So I'm hoping, for the love of God, that I'll break some individual lift this time around.
So which the individual list are you looking forward to break? Of course,
Yeah,
that
the
question was
cop-out.
what was you expecting, Natalie? You think I'm gonna just sit there and not ask? Come on.
Let's see. I guess with training, squat has been going the best. I know everyone's gonna also go for the squat, but I want to at least throw my hand in there and try to push it a little bit.
You know, there's only 257, right?
Yeah, I know, but both of us are gonna go for the squat. I know.
Oh, what about the deadlift?
Ah, who needs deadlifts?
Oh,
Who needs
wow.
deadlift? Yeah, that's right.
Thank you.
you heard that? You know,
It's
not
the only
everybody.
lift. It's the only lift that matters. Shut up, Jordan. No one asks you.
You see, even a world record deadlifts don't matter no more nowadays.
No, fuck it up.
Oh.
That's it. I'm off. See
Oh my gosh.
In terms of that number you spoke about, like the squat record, I think as 57 is 186 by our only queen of squats in the country, Bobby Batter. I think it's still Bobby's Batters. You know,
I think it's still Bobby's. Yeah.
I would love to see that squat to be broken by you guys at Sheffield, but I want Bobby to push it at the Euros, which is probably she will.
Oh, I definitely think she will. Yeah.
She will. And if you guys miss it at Sheffield, I'll be like, yes. Yeah, oh, sorry.
Oh my God.
Oh, great. So, but in terms of like, of course, Jed will be your main competitor here. Are you going to Sheffield thinking, I'm going up against Jed, or I'm going up against the rest of the pack to make sure I win the bag or I win Sheffield? What's the mindset here for you?
Mindset is just like get locked in again like I was at Worlds, because like I can't really think, oh my God, well what are they going to do? That's way too much to be thinking about for me on game day. Like that my coaches or handlers can think about that, but if I go out there and lift with what's on the bar, then I'll be set. And that's my mindset going in, is just, okay, I have this done in training, I want to have fun and break some records. What can I realistically hit and push on the day? So that's what I'm thinking about. And I know that if I do my best, I'll be able to push some of the people at the top, but I just have to execute.
So who's handling you? You mentioned handlers.
Arian handled me at Worlds, and I need to discuss that with a couple people this week, actually.
But you can bring Steve, isn't it? Or is he banned?
He's banned. He will be in the audience, but he cannot handle me, unfortunately.
Trust me, I know him and Angelo have been saying they're the only one that talk about Article 14 in America, the Europeans or IPF lifted on. Angelo, if you're listening to this, you're fucking lying, because I do. You know, and I do talk about the Article 14, and I hate the Article 14. It does not do justice to powerlifting. And then
especially not from a coach's side. From a coach perspective.
Yeah.
Like I don't know that I agree or disagree with it on the lifter side, but the coach's side makes me a bit confused. Like I'm just like, wait, how does that work again? Sort of thing. It's just If he was allowed to, would you have him handling you?
Oh, for sure, definitely, yeah.
But we need to get that article out of the way, and we are fighting. Again, this is a message to Americans. You are not the only one fighting for this. We're all fighting IPF. We're all fighting Gaston for us. I'm going to have Gaston here to talk about it.
Jurgens can handle you if you want. It's the only way he's going to get up on the Sheffield stage.
Wow. Do you know what? I leave you two just to carry on. I will get this year. I will get on the Sheffield stage before the competition starts.
I'll write Kengamu with like glow sticks and I'll shake it on the stage.
So in terms of like Jade, again, I think I'm gonna bring Jade a little bit more here on with you, because she's your main direct competitor. As much as like you're going up against the world, you're going up against everybody else, but there's Jade to worry about. And I don't know if you've been looking at her training lately, or whether you consume powerlifting content, because a lot of Americans, again, I think I said this in our previous episode with Delaney. I mean, no offense, no, I'm not trying to, what's the word? I'm not trying to cause issues here, but you guys are almost tunnel vision when it comes to things. You don't care about the rest of the world, what they do. You only care about American with the best. We're the best on the planet. We're the best in history. We're the best ever. Nobody else can come close to us, and nobody else is shit like us. Do you know what I mean? These are Americans.
So aggressive.
So, do you have the mindset, or you have more of a gentle, soft, casual mindset like the rest of us, people like us, down to earth?
I think I guess, more of your mindset. I would say I'm as aggressive as you, but I definitely take a look around at the world. I try not to watch too much of my competitive training though when I'm like in meet prep mode, just because I don't like to watch it. I like to focus on myself. So I haven't really seen much of her recent lifting outside of the I think, yeah, she did girl power recently, a month ago. Yeah. So I saw that meet recap, but anything else I haven't really looked at. And I just focus on my lifting. I don't watch too many others, but I don't just watch American lifters, I promise.
You don't just watch, or you just watch American?
I don't just watch American lifters.
Welcome to Sabado Session Podcast. Welcome. So, but in terms of Jade's training has been bonkers. It's been moving like in a level where sometimes like you look at it, watch her training, you're thinking, how is that even fucking possible? Do you know what I mean? So, in terms of our numbers, do you and Steve sit there and think about where she might be at Sheffield? Or is it something you just think like, whatever happens, happen?
I know Steve does that. I asked him going into Worlds not to include me on that part just because I don't like it, but he does do all the game day scouting ahead of time and projections. So whatever he thinks is best, I trust him 100% on. So I know that he and the game day handler will be going back and forth on that. I will not. I will be lifting, but they will have that in mind.
So leading to World, that means you already knew that you're gonna win then, if Steve does the work that for you.
Yep, that's why I just focused on myself, because I knew if Steve put out the plan that I could execute it. And that's why I was so happy after last pool, because I knew that I either would have the opportunity to pool into first, or I'd be at first at that pool. So that was why I was so excited. I had no idea where I was in the placing, but I knew that we had a plan. So that's why I was just so happy.
Wow. That's what you call coaching right there. Coach.
No, but I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. I don't like looking at. I know we've had this conversation with lads in the UK and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, I need to know what anyone else is doing. I need to figure out. I need to be part of the game plan. I need to do this." Me, I just want to lift.
Yeah.
Like, you tell me a number, and I'm gonna go lift that number. It just makes my life easier. I want to be sat there on my phone, making memes, just waiting for the next lift. Like that's what I like to do, and I think that works really well.
I want to see a meme of me on the Sheffield platform next. Anyway, and Natalie, my my next question: have you? Because again, I don't know if you listen to Agatha from KOTL. She's moving up weight class. She's going to this. No, she's moving down the weight class.
Down, yeah.
To 69 as Leah and the rest. By the way, guys, anyone who's listening, I was not the one that told KOTL before the podcast that Agatha is going down. I'm not in snitch.
No one said that you were. Is that a bit of like, guilty conscience coming through?
No, it's not guilty conscience, you prick.
Show me your DM. Show me your DMs with Brian. I bet it was you.
I'm no more. I don't snitch. Anyway.
Yeah, you are. I literally made a meme about you calling you snitch, Gammy.
Going back to Natalie, would you consider moving down weight class or up? Because again, I mean, you going up, you're getting kilos. Maybe it's easy for you to total more and then get that 63 world record, or maybe 52 and go up against Evie. Is that something you considered?
Maybe like, I don't know, for like 5 minutes, and then I was like, nah, I can't diet down like that. Like, honestly, right now, no, because I want to make a statement in the 57. So going down or up, it just isn't, in the game plan for me right now. Who knows what the future holds? I don't plan on moving up for quite a bit, because I have, I think, a good bit of room still to grow in the 57s where the cuts aren't too hard, and I can still make weight relatively easily. So I don't plan on going up. I don't plan on going down right now, but who knows what the future holds.
You got to collect them Infinity Stones, once 57s is done.
Just have to keep adding to the gauntlet.
Yeah.
So you said that, would you probably, like, has it ever come to your mind thinking maybe Jade man going down or going up?
Really? No.
It won't really, because the way you explained it, her doing whatever won't affect your game plan anyway, right? Because you're going for that world record total and you're going for them bags. So
For the
like
bags,
what
yes.
she does doesn't really like affect you or your lifting or your attempt choices too much, I guess.
I guess so. I mean, like as a game day handler, you have to be aware of what other people are doing, though. So you obviously don't get screwed when world records are on the line and miss opportunities to take like the chips and things like that. But that's not for me to really worry about as much. I'm just there to kind of lift and let the other people fall into place, you know, to
Yeah,
figure
fair
out
enough.
the pieces.
How's your training going towards Sheffield at the moment?
It's up and down right now, to be honest. The squats have moved great. I'm hitting PRs pretty much every block and just having really, really nice momentum. As far as deadlift and bench, they're kind of shit, to be honest, right now. So I'm hoping that I'll swing the momentum back up soon enough, but it's okay. It's always up and down sometimes.
Is that shit for a mortal or shit for you? Because they're two.
It's just shit in my mind.
Yeah, in your mind. Okay. Okay, I'll have to ask Steve.
Oh my God. Steve just gets flooded with DMs now.
No,
You know what?
yeah.
Steve will get so many DMs that he's gonna wake up in the morning thinking, I'm not going to work. I need to clear my inbox. So I mean, that's what probably that's why you have that confidence of thinking the world record squat might be on the horizon, because the PRs have been hit often now in every single block, isn't it? But not just so much on the deadlift, because nobody cares about deadlifting. Who cares about the pull?
Shut up, Durance.
No one. So again, in terms of like Sheffield itself as well, because you Americans, like when you think about the way you guys are qualified for world, now you're doing Sheffield is different because there's a Carpino to be hit. Is this something that you're so confident thinking, oh, I don't really give a damn about a Carpino because regardless, I'm gonna get this number to get to world? Or is it something you're thinking, oh, my other competitors in the US might actually snatch that spot for me? Because if there's 2-3 people in America hit the Carpino at the nationals, I think they get an automatic spot for world. Am I right?
So I don't know. I don't know why this isn't like publicly released information yet, but I believe they are doing away with the Carpinos, and it's going to just be whoever has the biggest total gets that world spot. Now I could be wrong because it's not officially released yet. So let's say, but I think that's what it is.
Logic is starting to prevail.
Yeah, this is a safe place. It's not going to be released at all. Don't. Why you said that we're going to keep it safe? So I mean, again, right? Do you look at yourself in terms of like your competition and your performance, thinking I shouldn't be worried on the land in America in terms of like this 57? I should just be focusing about the world level 57 because almost nobody can touch it in America. Is that something you think, or something you feel like, oh, I need to work 3 times harder because this one is coming for me?
Well, there's always going to be someone coming for me, like whether it's a junior lifter or someone who wants to move up or down in a weight class. Like there's always going to be competition coming from all directions. But as of right now, I'm just focused on the world level. And if I need to pick up any meet in the United States, it shouldn't be an issue to do that. But for right now, I'm just focusing on Sheffield and Worlds and just continuing and hopefully maybe focusing on World Games in a couple years.
I mean, let me bring you back to the World Championship. I know we spoke about it, we went straight into Sheffield. Natalie, you are a world champion. How does that sit in your mind? A world champion.
1 for 1 as well. That's such a joke.
How does that sit?
Yeah.
The reason I brought you back to the world champions because I just thought about what Indy said there. Your first international, you come in, you're a world champion. How does
100% win rate. Tell Durance how it feels to win worlds.
Poor Duran, he's never going to do this podcast again.
He's used to it. He's fine. He's thin.
Okay.
He's got thick skin by now. He's all right.
See, Delaney beat me twice, but I still got him on a podcast today. Do you know what I mean? See, that's how generous I am. Anyway, go on, Natalie. How does it sit with you being a world champion, 1 for 100% a world champion?
I mean, like it's been a couple months now, so I've had time to let that like kind of settle. For the first like couple weeks, it didn't feel like legit, like it happened, like it was real, because it's been such a huge goal for so long. And now that it's kind of like sat for a couple months, I'm just really, really proud of myself and how far that I pushed myself, because I never thought that I would be on the world's team or world champion, and then just having the mindset of like no limits has just pushed me to kind of try my hardest. And so now that I have the 1-for-1, I've won a world champion, it makes me so happy and so excited to just keep pushing. And I feel like I've put myself out there as a strong athlete in powerlifting, and someone to be considered seriously as a athlete of sport.
So the percentage thing that people were talking about, like the voting, going into Worlds, did that play on your mind? Was it a case of, all right, you fuckers, let's see where this is going, sort of thing? Do you know what I mean? Because if I was you, I would have pre-made the fucking memes ready to launch the second I won, and I would have just uploaded all of them. Was that something in the back of your mind? Is it still in the back of your mind? Are you just like, oh, it's nothing, it is people going to talk, opinions are like arseholes, everybody has one?
Yeah, pretty much the latter. Like everyone's gonna, talk, everyone's gonna have their favorites. And like it didn't really bother me that much because like Jad's training was so good going into Worlds, so she had a great day. Like so it didn't really bother me too much. And I figure the same thing is gonna happen with Sheffield, whether it's me or someone else. Like it's gonna happen. There's gonna be shit talk. People are gonna pick sides. It's fine. Like that's sports. I'd rather have it be that way.
I think with the ladies, I've always said this on the ladies' side. The men talk their shit. Why do ladies don't? Why you guys don't talk your shit? Why? Is it because is that feminism in you guys, or is it because you want to
feminism,
or you want to sell that what you call it, that kindness image around the world? Is that what it's all about?
I really think it depends, because some people, I would say Bobby is like the nicest person in the world. Like she legitimately wants to go against you because she's so fired up for training, and I love Bobby. There are some people I've competed against who are sneaky, who literally hate you, and they say the nice things.
Name names.
No, I can't.
No, you have to name on this podcast. You have to name names. That's the thing. Name one name at least.
I can't. But anyone in the United States.
Are they Americans? Are they Americans or international? So I can name them myself.
All I'm saying is that there are people who I really enjoy going against, and some people I don't, because they will be sneaky about it and act like everything's great and smiles, but will be shitty behind your back. And I don't know why it's like that way.
Talking about the French?
No, the French are pretty nice for women's side.
So it's not the British, it's not the French.
We need to move on.
Is it the Americans? Is it Civil War Part 3?
Exactly. And I can't say the Spanish because they're talking Spanish. You wouldn't really hear them properly because you don't, unless you speak Spanish.
I only listen to Bad Bunny. I don't know that many Spanish words.
So that means they are either Americans or Brits or French. French and Brits are good. So these
why do I have a feeling it's American?
But all I'm saying is that on the women's side, I wish it was more direct sometimes. I really do. Like
in the comments, leave the names of the people you think are talking shit behind Natalie's back.
Yeah, anyone that's competing against Natalie in America that put the names in the comment so we can pick. Maybe they're the ones that win the giveaway. So in terms of, as you said, sometimes you wish people can come forward. Why do you think they don't?
I don't know whether, I know that men, like they always talk their shit. I'm sure Delaney, when he was on the podcast, talked a lot of, direct, hits, his direct goals against competitors and stuff. Like, I don't know why women don't do that as much. I don't even do that as much either.
You can be the first one on this podcast. You can be the first.
I know.
It's always like, it always have to be one person that leads the way. One person that comes
and says,
I'm not coming to make friends. I'm not your friend. I'm here to beat you. Right? Or there's a certain legend I know, he said it one day, he said it once, he said, okay, do you think you're close? You have no idea. So all of these are Americans lines. So unfortunately, not hearing from women is just like, come on, what type of Americans you guys are? Do you know what I mean? Are you from a different culture? Anyway, going back to Sheffield, right? Let's bring it back to Sheffield. So, in terms of like, again, you mentioned the squat world record, you mentioned about if the game days and all of that, the preparation, all of that things you mentioned. So what are you actually looking for not as a competitor, but as someone coming to Britain? Because you came to Britain a couple of weeks ago for the SPD to do other shoot you did. This is a different assignment. So in terms of Sheffield, what are you looking forward to? Because you can't tell me I'm looking forward to meet all the best lifters in the world. No, you met them at world. You met them. So what else is out there are you looking forward to?
I'm really looking forward to talking to them again and just having some hugs and some good quality time.
Oh, Natalie, get a grip.
Wow, Natalie. So you're looking forward to meet the lifters again. You're not even looking forward to look at,
Mm.
to meet
She's
the
taking the
people that come
piss,
and watch you.
Jurid. She's taking the piss.
People that will come and buy some people will be buying VIP ticket to just come and see you, but you're not looking forward to meet them. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Okay. I am looking forward to, I guess, because this is going to be different than Worlds from a media aspect as well, to where it's more of like an athlete like experience, I guess, like how what was it? The Olympia folks just did like meet and greets. They do these shoots and stuff with their family and fans and stuff. So I think that'll be a cool aspect too, to do the kind of like meeting the spectators of the sport, because that's never really anything I've done before. So that's going to be super fun. Hopefully I'm not too awkward, but I'm looking forward to that. And then also kind of the just the more athlete experience. I think it's going to be more serious. So I'm ready to have powerlifting be serious.
I'm going to try my best to get my camera there on the day for Sabado. So the way I'm going to be asking you athlete questions in that room, Jesus Christ, I can't wait.
Put a Powerlifting America tracksuit on and then ask Natalie loads of questions. She really enjoys that.
Yeah. Be like, do that.
I need to get a Powerlifting America tracksuit, but I need to figure out how to buy one, because since so I need to figure out how to do
swap it with Delaney. Actually, no, you can't swap it with Delaney because he's like 3 sizes bigger than you, isn't he?
Wow.
I'll figure out a way.
Never mind. Natalie, so now you've gone from USAPL to IPF. One of the questions I wanted to ask you when we touched the IPF and USAPL subject was, what difference are you seeing in both Fed? Because you've been on both sides, in terms of like the comp side, the media side, the way things are done. What is the difference you've seen from both sides?
Like strictly USAPL versus IPF, or USAPL versus Powerlifting America?
No, USAPL with IPF, no Powerlifting America. Because Powerlifting America is still small. We can't really give them heat because they're still growing. Because I think I watched the national last year. I said to myself, this looks like a garage meet. But with the production, because they had SBD and a Laco, made it even more interesting. But let's not compare it to a PA. Let's compare USAPL and IPF.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit of a hard comparison for me to make, though, too, because I've only been to Worlds with the IPF. So, like, obviously, it's going to be the best experience possible at IPF Worlds, where it's single platform, tons of cameras, lights. The warm-up room is S tier. Everything is set up super nicely, and everything is ran smoothly. At USAPL meets, it's usually not as much the case, just because there's so many lifters and they have different media teams doing different events sometimes. And even at local meets, they don't have media teams. They just have someone with the camera for the photos for the athletes. So it's just different levels. So I don't know if I can give like an accurate comparison for that.
But in terms of when you said there's a different thing to USAPL because different media, are you just saying basically USAPL meets are a shamble?
Oh God, I'm gonna get so much hate after this podcast.
No, I don't. I literally don't. I love USAPL and the production. One of the things,
lies.
They have got the best lifters in the world there, which is I like. But they meet the way they run it, I don't like it. You know what I mean? I was looking for. I do stay to 4 a.m. in the morning here, waiting to watch the national, and they're showing me these things I can barely see.
Nationals was not good. I think the previous year's Nationals production was run a little bit better than this year's, because I just did not enjoy as a spectator, if I was watching the live stream or something, like it wasn't timely. The sessions the straight up lifting cast wouldn't work, or you couldn't see anything on the boards, or the live stream wasn't working. And then there's literally 7 a.m. sessions, then there's 10 p.m. sessions at night. So as a coach, how are you supposed to handle both and sleep and exist? Like there's no possible way. It was just really, really chaotic at Nationals this year.
10 p.m. sessions.
Well, I don't know what time it started. I can't remember now, but it started like 7. It wouldn't end till around 11. at
I'm
night.
obvious sleep.
That's bonkers. That's
And
bonkers.
it really just sucked for the coaches who had to get up at probably 5 a.m. to meet their lifters at the weigh-ins at like 5:30 or 6. And if they're cutting, you got to be up a little bit earlier too to help them with that cut.
But the decisions as well, again, for you to move from USAPL to IPF or PA, I mean, as you said, your first IPF name was World, which is like, to me, just bonkers. You know what I mean? Your first experience for IPF, you being a world champion. Well, thank you very much, Natalie. You show us that everybody can do it.
Did you get hate for that? The jump across? Did you get any like remarks or any comments from people? Oh, she's gone USPA, IPF. Why has she stayed USAPL? Was that a thing?
No, honestly, I think I got more support for making the switch because after I bombed out at nationals, I just did one last USAPL meet to solidify a total for the year, and then I did a qualifier a week later after that, and just went right over to PLA and IPF. So, like, I think most people supported that decision and wanting to see me compete against 57s at the world level. So I didn't receive really any remarks like that.
So
What happened to the comp you bombed out? Sorry, it's just because Durance has bombed out previously as well. So I thought we'd cover this topic. What happened? What went wrong?
The only difference is Natalie. We're on the same boat, but the only difference is you're a world champion, and I've never tested that. So anyway,
Yeah,
what happened to that
true.
comp anyway?
At that meet, that was my first nationals, and going in, I had head-to-head competition as well as projected to place, 1 or 2. So it was a lot of pressure, I think, for the first time at a nationals meet, and I just really didn't handle it well, and I fell apart on deadlifts to where I couldn't lock out. I could pull the bar up, but I couldn't lock out at all, and just had a lot of technical issues, especially with mainly with my deadlift, somewhat with my squat, and I missed every single deadlift, so I didn't register a total. And then I came back a couple months later and hit a 9 for 9 at a local meet, and then did a qualifier, and then went to nationals again for Powerlifting America the following spring.
At least you did get to the deadlift before you bombed out. I only stopped at the bench press. But anyway,
yeah, stop it early.
It takes a lot though to come back from that. Because it takes a lot to come back from that. Was there anything playing in your mind of the meet after that? Like, fuck's sake, can't let it happen again.
Yeah, it was hard for a long time. Like, literally right after nationals, I was just like, fuck. Like, it was just the worst feeling ever. But I'm really glad that it happened, because I would not have made the changes I did without it. Guaranteed. So when I did the local meet, I went against the same head-to-head competitor I did at nationals when I lost, and I won the meet for best lifter, and it felt like I, had some confidence back on the platform, and I tried to fix somewhat of my technical issues, so I didn't get called again for that issue on deadlift, and I didn't have the same kind of thing happening. And then after that meet too, is when I made the switch to coaching. So I moved over to work with Steve, and then I went fully to Powerlifting America. So I started making even more changes after that, because I knew they needed to be done to keep going in the sport, really.
So now you are coached by Steve, right? Which is a great guy, and Steve is literally working or living under this umbrella, what we're calling a ban from IPF, this Article 14. Does it not make things hard for you to be looked after by somebody that can't look after you on the platform?
No, I never feel like that. And he was actually able to handle me at nationals for the first time, and then he got banned after that. That was the first meet that he was able to handle me at. But like, that felt really, really good to be able to work with him on that meet, and I'm so glad that he was able to, because one, it's always great to be able to work with your coach in person and just have that kind of relationship as an athlete, to see his call, see the game day coaching, and have that mutual respect. And then 2, he always makes sure that I have someone that we both trust to handle me on the meet day, and he does like phone calls with them, and he has the game day plan. He has everything laid out for me and the coach, so I never feel like I'm missing anything. I always feel prepared, and that's what's really important.
So at Sheffield, would it be at the front row what Flex did for Jesus and Delaney, being a front row and barking orders from the front row? Would he do that?
I don't know. He needs like a microphone, I feel like. I don't think he's that loud. I don't think he can just
Flex
yell.
was in the front row at Sheffield, and literally every attempt would be like, I want more.
Really?
Do you know what I mean? So would Steve
Really?
be doing that as well?
Oh, I don't know. I just want him to have like a little whiteboard that says like "good job" or something. Like that's all I want.
I'm gonna get him a banner that just says "Go Sports."
Yeah, go sports. That's all I need.
That's it. That's all you need. Just a bit of cheer.
Yeah.
It is frustrating for athletes, and especially like the level you guys are, where you work with your coach, and on a biggest platform like that, as Sheffield, it can't be with you or it can't help you. It is frustrating because I'm talking about my point of view. If I go to the national and Joey is banned, they can't handle me at the national. I'll probably consider pulling out, not even competing, because that's just not me. But anyway, in terms of
I
like,
don't get, but what? That's shut up, Julian. What do you mean, bro?
I
You
will.
do it. You do it at international stage, don't you?
Yeah, because Joey doesn't have a passport to the international.
No, yeah, but that's the same thing, isn't it? Like at international, you have like squad like coaches that are going to handle you. You're not always able to get your own coaches out. It's
You
part and
know,
parcel of it.
you,
It's something you just gotta.
you know, sometimes as well in the like, especially platform like Sheffield, you want to get, you know, when to me personally, this is just my personal view. When you qualify to Sheffield, you go and do a meet like Sheffield. The experience is not just you; it's the people that you work with as well, along to get that experience. Because it's not going to happen every day. I'm not going to end up in the Sheffield platform and get somebody else to handle me. No way. I need to give Joey that experience because probably he will never going to get that again. Same thing with Natalie. Maybe
Yeah,
Steve.
but because you're never gonna get it again. Natalie's like, yeah, I'll be here next year. Article 14 finished, and they'll
Nah,
be able to handle me.
you see how Indy's creating a lot of enemies for you. Now everyone will be listening to this podcast. They'll be like, "Oh, I can't wait for Jed to literally whip Natalie's ass." So she
What
doesn't
do you
end
mean?
up in
No one.
Sheffield.
Now they're all. Remember, Natalie's friends with everyone. Everyone's nice to each other. No one says anything, so it's fine.
Yeah,
It'll be
it's
alright.
true.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah, and she loves competing with everybody else around around the
Other than
body.
that one competitor who talks shit about her and
Fuck.
write in the comments with it.
Natalie, I know these are big platform in terms of like World and Sheffield. How do you normally prep your mind when you come to these platforms? Because they're no nationals, they're no locals. These again, I'm not talking about the judging or whatever. I'm just talking about the level of a competitiveness it is in terms of like when you compare powerlifting on a global scale. So now you're going to Sheffield. How is your mind being prepared now to face that Sheffield platform?
Yeah. Like I said, after like I bombed out of nationals, I had to make a lot of changes, and a lot of it was like my mentality going into different meets, because like going into nationals, even at Powerlifting America, I was nervous because that was my ticket to Worlds. Like I had to hit the Carpino to get to Worlds. So going into any high level meet now, I just do a lot more mental like preparation and how I approach training too, to where I don't let like one shit day ruin my rest of my weekend or the rest of my week. Like it's just literally one training session, and you've done how many training sessions to prepare for this one meet? Probably hundreds and hundreds of them. So going into each meet, I reflect on all my training sessions and how strong I felt in them. And then I try to also think about making every single lift from beginning of the meet to the end. I visualize all my attempts, because if you can visualize it, you can just do it. You've done it in the gym, you've prepared for this. So mentally preparing is just visualizing it for me and just feeling as confident as I can. And when I went into nationals that one year where I bombed out, I was just in shambles mentally. So obviously that played a huge role in my execution. And I think that's one area I'm really proud of, because it's been hard to adjust my mentality from being a super, super nervous lifter where I want to throw up to being confident and excited on the platform. So going to Sheffield, I'm going to try to do the same thing where I'm like, okay, here's my training. I visualize my attempts. I'm excited to be here. This is what I've worked for. Let's get after it. So that's what I'm going to try to do for the next couple months.
Was it just a mindset switch, or was there things you did to have that to like initiate that change, so to speak? Because like I know for a lot of people, just going from being nervous and like during one lift fail, so my whole prep's in the bin, to being like, you know what, shit happened, let's move on.
Yeah, I think it took a little bit of time, and I think failing was honestly so helpful for me because like literally the worst case scenario happened. I went to nationals to win my first title and I bombed out. Like that was the worst case scenario and it happened. So what? I'm still here and now I'm a world champion. So having that strong mindset of being able to come back did help me a lot and just prove to myself like, you're good. You're going to be okay. And just if you miss one lift, you're going to be okay. You just got to keep going. You just take one lift at a time. And that's just really what I try to think about.
Because I think everyone bombs out once in their career. You've got it out of the way on your first comp.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's done.
Have you? Indy, have you?
That's why the day it happens to me, I'm just going to stop powerlifting because the amount of memes I get in my direction is going to be fucking legendary.
You haven't bombed out yet, Indy?
No, touch wood.
Oh, the Euro is coming in 3 weeks. Talking.
I'll be deadlifting your subtotal. You're talking shit to me. It's fine.
So yeah, Natalie, in terms, you spoke about the mindset, how strong your mindset is, and you prepare your mindset. Is there anything else you do? Because the reason I'm asking this question is because we got younger lifters listening to this podcast, and especially like the names like yourselves. When we introduce the giveaway, when we say how we're gonna do it, when we say you get people like Natalie Richards saying your name and things like that, people are excited to just the fact that Natalie can say my name. Do you know what I mean? So almost like, how do you prepare that mindset to get that mindset stronger, thinking, okay, you bombed out, you get out of the way, you're going to the next comp, you're going to the next platform, you almost visual your lifters, all of these things that you spoke about. How do you prepare to get to that level? Because it is a process. It's not something you learn in a day.
Yeah. Like the biggest thing that helped me was just like getting back on my feet relatively quickly after nationals, because I think I just took a couple of months break and just I think 2 or 3, probably 3 months, and then I went into this local meet because like if I didn't do that, then I know I would have just pushed it off and I wouldn't have wanted to go back on the platform. And honestly, like I kind of didn't want to go back on the first time around because I was like, I feel like shit because I've bombed out. But like if you just go against everything that you're, afraid of, you'll get stronger. If you avoid the things that are uncomfortable, then like you aren't going to grow. You just have to gain some sort of adversity and you have to just try to overcome every little step that you can, and you'll just be a better person and athlete because of it. So like I even used to struggle just to like make phone calls. I was like, I don't want to call them. I can just do an email. But now I'm a phone call person where I just call people. Like you just got to get it done and just like push yourself a little bit outside of your comfort zone, and you'll be so much happier as a person. Just not even as an athlete, but as a person.
Okay, because sometimes like I mean, we spoke about this. I talk about it so many times, and maybe the message, the way I try to pass my message across, not the right way, but the mindset in the sports we do plays a massive part. So if your mind is not right, I mean, Indy's a world record holder on the deadlift, even if you load a 380 or 370, but if it's not right in the mind, that weight it's not even gonna break off the floor. You'll be like, oh yeah, but Indy can triple that, but the mind is not there for that way. As the athlete as well, it's most important for us to look after our mind. Our mind have to be healthy, because some people thinking, oh yeah, let me just be a junkie and get on powerlifting and I will do lift anything. It's just a strength sport. It doesn't work like that. So yeah, sorry for rambling there. That's me. That's sending people that are taking a picture of me.
Are you quite like when you're going into lifting, like squats, bench, deads individually? Are you quite a calm person going into the lift? Is it hype? Is it mental arousal? How do you approach your lifts? Like, because everyone's so vastly different, aren't they?
Yeah. I don't know. When I first started lifting, I was just like, I would do like random weird things, like clap before I went on. I'd be like, yeah, and like do a little like shaking the hands.
That's so American. It's like
let's go. But now, yeah, woo. But now, like every single I think attempt I did at Worlds, I would like do a little yell before I went out there. So I like to get a little bit hype, so I don't think about anything else. I just think about getting to the bar and hearing the commands. So I get in the zone and not looking around, not saying too many words out loud. Just going to the bar.
So so basically that excitement, you almost like what's the word? You've almost like contained that inside to put that energy into the lifting, rather than just because some people like, again, you said you love Bobby Barter as much as we all love Bobby. She's one of our queen here, but Bobby has a lot of intensity getting on the
Yeah.
platform. And then probably you've never met him. Owen on the 83 had that intensity. He's Mr. Intensity. So when they're getting on the platform, or even Stephen Manuel, oh bless him, is coming back, the old crook. But anyway, all these guys have the intensity when they're getting on the platform. So how do you feel when you're going up against someone with that amount of intensity? How does it make you feel as a lifter?
I honestly don't even see it because like I only see it, you know, when I'm watching it on Instagram or a meet replay or something. I don't see it in the warm-up room because I have tunnel vision there where I'm just having my headphones on, so I don't hear anything. And I'm usually like looking down or just lifting. So I'm not really looking around. So it doesn't, you know, bother me at all. And even when I'm like in the tunnel to step out on the platform, like I'm still like zoned out. Like I am not looking at anything else except like myself and what I'm doing, because I am super hype in the back. Like I am trying to get hype and keep that intensity up anytime I'm about to lift. So I don't really notice what's going on or what Bobby's doing or what anyone else is doing because I get so amped up. I will say on my like last couple deadlifts, I will get like a little like emotional in the back before I go out and lift. And if any videos comes out, I have to at least call myself out on that beforehand. But yeah.
You're going to Sheffield, so Sheffield again. I think I mentioned this before. You're going up against Jad because you're both in the same weight class. But when you look at the way Sheffield is planned and everything else in Sheffield, is the structure is almost like you're going up against every single woman. Do you know what I mean? Doesn't matter whether they're in your weight class or not, and you will meet these women. Every woman is different. The intensity level is different on there. I think I had Evie last time when she said, as soon as I came out from her, because she was the first squatter, as soon as she came out, they just the arena itself, the platform, the noisy, she just went like, what the fuck? It's almost like that is something you need to deal with. So is that something you're doing yourself on your on your side to be able to contain that? Because that will come. Because Sheffield is not world. You come in front of like 2,000 people screaming Natalie. Everyone is Natalie's fan. Over there, we're not like in America. The guys that you compete with that they don't like you. No, in Sheffield, everyone likes you. How you dealing? How you prep your mind on that occasion?
It's something that I haven't like specifically addressed yet. I've obviously thought about it quite a bit because I know it's going to be loud. I know it's going to be the loudest meet I've ever done. It's going to be a different experience. I'm trying to kind of go back and see what happened last year and maybe take a look at the live stream and see like if I can figure anything else from that. But really, I'm just going to try to focus and maybe get better noise canceling headphones. I'll do something to where I can keep myself in my own mind because I know it is going to be different.
So do you talk to some of the Sheffield participants that are going in this year? Do you talk to them?
I don't think I've talked to anyone.
Damn.
Not yet.
You don't really like people, do you?
Now, you know what? I was gonna ask this question, but it comes like perfectly off this question. Like within Team GB, we all speak to each other a lot. We send each other memes, we share each other's lifting. It's a team. There's like a very strong team between everyone. Is it the same with the US team, or is it quite, everyone's doing their own thing?
I think it's more like everyone's doing their own thing. When we were a team for USA for Worlds, we would have a group chat, but that was more strictly logistical, like the flights, figuring out different things and not necessarily sharing lifting, not doing anything like that. It was just more straightforward. I think that we have such like huge personalities like Gavin or Delaney, where I don't think I've ever talked to either of them, but it's just like, we're all on Team USA, but we don't necessarily have as much communication as maybe you guys have over.
That's so weird to me. Like that one particular thing there, because I've asked a few people and they've all said similar stuff, but that blows my, like our group chat for Worlds was fucking insane. We must have had about 10 million memes. Everyone's taking the piss out of each other. Everyone's supporting each other. Everyone's there for each other. It's actually like a really, really good atmosphere, and it helps build like the team spirit sort of thing. We even have like squad sessions where the team gets together and trains and goes out for food and stuff like that. I find it really weird that the Americans don't do that, because like Americans support Americans as far as I've seen in terms of sports.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's odd to me.
Like
Just
I
start just start memeing Delaney and Gavin. That's
They
what I
will
do.
engage. They will engage. Start memeing them. Start calling them out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got it. Okay. Send me some
I've got
meme
a complete
templates.
meme already made. I'll send it to you.
Okay. Okay, cool. Like,
In the
seriously, I think
you see that meme that you had Delaney doing the salsa. Send it to
Yeah, I'll send
Natalie.
it to you. Send
Yeah,
it in the
and
group chat.
that'll
And
be
just,
my first interaction with him, so I'm sure it'll get off to a good start.
yeah. And
I
you
didn't post
see
that.
the other meme that you had with Gavin, him like trying to copy Sean Paul. Send it to Natalie.
I got a few. I got
Yeah.
a few.
Okay, cool.
But
Okay,
the
cool.
thing is, like, again, to me, it literally surprised me the fact that that team spirit of Americans is preached on social media, is preached across the world, but realistic in reality, it doesn't happen, which is
Like
really sad. It's very
it
saddening because, I mean, I was expecting you guys to go for meals every single 6 weeks to travel across the states to go and meet each other. You know what I mean? That's what I was expecting from Americans. You know?
like it's okay, so like I feel like it depends, and like sometimes there are like special cases, like me and Waskar, that was both of our first worlds, and we're both coached by Steve. We had like great communication. I was messaging him like every day, like, how the fuck am I supposed to sign up for this shit? Like I was talking to him every day, like trying to figure shit out. We had great teammanship. He even helped me in the back with loading plates and mentality. So like that, I had a great friendship, teammanship with him at the world stage. But like, and some of the women too, like I'll always like shoot a message off if I have a question with some of the gals, like Jessica and anyone else who I'm kind of close with. But as a team, it didn't really feel as much as a connection, just because I haven't even met some of these guys like in person before. But also I'm new. But I mean, like as a whole in that group chat, I haven't talked to them. I know they probably are closer, but for the newer athletes on the team, there's not a place where we can all like goof around and send memes and stuff. Maybe because we're all like so spaced out. Some people live in New York or Texas or Cali or wherever, but like we can't just do that. And we have like maybe 1 or 2 team calls, and that was it. And it's mostly logistical.
I think we forget, Jurins, that like we're not as big as some of their states as a country, so it's going to be much more difficult. But I thought there'd be like that online presence banter, just like backwards and forwards a little bit. I think it just helps general like to calm like lifters down and stuff, because like I remember we had a new lifter, Ishtiaq. He was new to the team, and I memed him straight away, and he memed back, and it was just
Nice.
it's like a love language now between all of us, isn't it?
You take the piss out of us, you know what I mean? You say to them like this and they say, oh yeah, but that's why you came 6th at world and all of that shit. You know, it does hurt me, but they still use it. But anyway, I think it's just like that connection that almost like the team bonding that I was expecting across the board. I mean, the French have it. I think the French is the best. They have that. And the Swedish, they go on a bloody
Swedish is.
vacation and shit. You know
They go on team vacations, like team vacations where they've got
Team
physios
vacation.
and stuff. I find that like really like wild.
It's just wild that we don't get at. So yeah, in terms of Sheffield and Natalie, what message are you sending your competitors? When I mean your competitors, I'm not just talking about Jed. I'm talking about every other women that you're going up against, because that's how the formula is. You have to be Sonita, you have to be Agatha, you have to be Leah. So there's almost like, I know you're a people's person, that people love competing against you, except that one person in America. But this one, you have to go up against everybody. What message are you sending them?
If it's a positive message, I'm editing it out. I'll be honest.
Yeah, we're gonna take it out.
Sound like an AI like voice me over, so I just say like some wild
like
shit.
Yeah.
Natalie says, "Fuck them all."
Yeah.
Okay. I won't
Before
be
you
too
say
nice
it,
then.
before you say it, remember these women you're going up against. They've been on that platform. Some of them already. You definitely, literally, when I look at it, apart from you and Carola Gara, you two are the new bitches in town. What message do you have for them?
And they're here to take your money.
Yeah. They're not here to support you. They want you to fail that world record squat, just like I said. I wanted to remain for Bobby. Go on.
Okay. I guess my message then is, even though I'm new, you know, I had a great performance at Worlds. I was the best woman lifter at Worlds. I want to be the best woman lifter at Sheffield.
Yeah, fair enough.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So all
You
these.
know what? It goes off that really nicely. I was going to ask you, who do you think is going to be top three? Like, who do you see winning? Who do you see taking the bag?
Okay,
And you can say yourself. For me, I don't even think it's egotistical to say me. Like, it is what it is. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, I'm going to be, I'm just going to exclude myself. If I was not competing, who do I think is going to be top three?
No. You have to include yourself. What do you mean
Yeah, you
exclude
have to
yourself?
include yourself.
Okay, well, I'll just say off who I think is going to be in top three. I think it's going to be Brittany. I think it's going to be Leah. And then I think it's going to be either me or Jade, probably. Because
So
I know Brittany.
when you saying that top three, you mean in its order, right? Not in particular order, on literally one, two,
No,
three.
no in particular order. I think those.
So what about in order?
Oh my God.
Order's hard. Order's hard. Even for
That
me,
is
order's hard.
probably I think Brittany, out of everyone at Worlds, broke the world total the most. Was it not? Correct me if I'm wrong on the women's side. I think it was Brittany. So statistically speaking, it would make sense for Brittany because I think she has good training momentum. And then
Do it.
You're telling me Brittany has the capacity to break that world record more time than she's done at World?
I think so.
Okay.
I think she'll be pushed a little bit more because Sanita's going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that will push her. That will 100% push her to like
you see
new
that
heights.
290 squat. I'm thinking Sonita gonna load 300. Anyway, carry on, Natalie.
Oh, she did just hit a stupid squat. I think I saw Sonita.
She's gonna hit 300 on an international platform before Durance.
I've done that at Euros.
Oh yeah, never mind.
See, deadlift don't count. Carry on, Natalie.
Okay, so we said Brittany, and then I think either me or Jade will be second, and then probably Leah.
No. Me or Jade doesn't work like that. Me or
Oh my God.
She's being nice. She means her.
No, there's no about being nice.
Why
Natalie.
can't we have a nice civilized podcast?
So Natalie,
we don't do that here.
So what you said, what you said is Brittany, is you, is Leah.
Yeah. Sure.
Nice. Okay. I like that though. I like that. That's a good top three.
I think on that note, guys, I don't think there's anything.
No, men's side. What about men's side? Are you paying attention to the men's side?
I don't think she cares about men. She doesn't care about men. Do you? You don't even talk to Delaney or Gavin. How do you care about men?
Where's my DM from them? They haven't messaged me.
True. Team USA, you need to get your shit together and like have some like sport teams leadership.
I do have a story. This is unrelated, so I'm going off a little tangent. But I was in Houston this last weekend to commentate the local meet there that had a bunch of lifters.
I was listening to your voice, by the way. Go on.
And Russ was there, and I've never talked to Russ, and I don't think he's obviously hasn't talked to me either. But he walked right past me, and we like never said a word. And he took my headset to talk to Ryan for like a couple minutes, and we never said anything. So if he comes to Team USA, we need to at least discuss. We need to talk to each other because there's no communication when you join Team USA. I think that's something we could improve upon.
When you say he took your headphone, did he actually ask, or he just grabbed it?
He just violently shook it off my head. No, I was kidding. They were putting him on to talk, so I put it down. He picked it up and took it.
So he didn't even know.
He didn't even say hello.
No.
Wow.
No.
I think this is the Americanism, isn't it? Where that tunnel vision, because
probably, yeah.
I'm sorry, like anyone that would take it taking the wrong way. Because last time I said something here, and Angel in 2 highlights thought I would change shit. No, I did not mean to bash USAPL. I was just talking fact. This is the Americanism I'm talking about here, the tunnel vision. Because if he was like us, the Brits, I wouldn't known who you were, Natalie Richard. No matter how many world championship I've won, but you're the first woman that turned up in our women team, won world and best lifter.
On a first comp, yo, that's a joke. But you know what? Fuck you, Natalie. That's such a joke.
No,
She
literally.
comes, she comes in. She comes in. She wins best lifter, wins worlds, goes fuck Jurins, and leaves. Basically, that's
Basically,
exactly what
you
happened.
Basically,
you
summary.
literally middle fingered to people like Amanda Lawrence, who is a legend.
Middle finger, you know, he's putting words in your mouth here. Fucking hell. Here we go.
Yeah, you literally did that.
I like Amanda Lawrence. No shade to Amanda. She's a
Do
great.
you talk to Amanda
Yeah,
Lawrence?
she'd at least say hello before she took the headphones off you, you know.
Yeah, she would have. She would have said hello. She's a nice person.
So do you talk to Amanda Lawrence at least?
We've messaged a couple times on Instagram, so we have chatted before.
So
We have
basically,
spoken.
the women's sides, the communication is almost there, but it's just
Yeah.
that the women and the men, it is nothing.
That's at least how I feel it, but I don't know. I can't speak for anyone else on Team USA for the women's side. I don't know if they talk to those guys, but we don't have that. We don't have a bridge, at least
Probably
right now.
maybe if you say hello to Ross, you'll probably think, oh, that's another fun girl. I don't have time for this.
That's literally how I felt. That's literally
He
exactly
just
how I
pulls
felt.
out an autograph out his back pocket. There you go.
You probably think, like, oh, do you want a picture or something? You know, let me finish.
Yeah, he'll be like, "Who are you? Are you new here?" Okay, yeah.
So how does
This is like such an aggressive podcast. Usually I'm very reserved, so you can't release this.
no, us here, you have to
Too
be.
late now.
You're
Too
being
late.
new. Do you know what I mean? We're not diplomatic or conservative like Ryan. We're not. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was not expecting that at all. It's a good change
No.
of pace.
If we could have gotten cancelled, we already got cancelled a long time ago, but people love
I,
us.
I'm banned for 12 months on Facebook, and I'm shadow banned on Instagram, and I'm also banned I'm blocked by the IPF president, Gaston.
I
Are
did
you
get
really?
yeah.
Hmm.
Some of us got
No.
warnings, but we move on. But anyway,
Oh God, what have I done to my lifting career?
No, it's fine. It's all right. It doesn't matter. Everything's fine. Everything's
Okay,
okay.
okay.
Natalie, in terms of like again, you said to yourself, the world record you broken it by a lot, right? You put the world record to the place where it's just insane. Do you think you shot yourself in the foot here for Sheffield when you broke that world record by that much? Because 500 would have been enough. 505 would have been enough. But you just
I don't think it would have been enough because John and I were so head to head.
yeah, but then
Where
have you seen the French attempt selection on the deadlift? Come on.
I mean, I know, but I think that I did have to pull that on the day, to be honest, in a head-to-head battle. I don't have any regrets. And I don't think I shot myself in the foot because I think if I can get my momentum swinging correctly, that shouldn't be a problem. Like, I'm confident. I just need to do some good training for the next couple months. I know the strength is there, and if I can put it together, I won't have any doubts that I can break the world record significantly more than what I did at Worlds. It just has to flow the way it needs to flow for training to have that happen.
So what you're saying, deadlift would have to cut now. It has to matter.
Yeah, I'd have to actually care about deadlift.
There we go. There we go. This is what I was waiting for. You know what? We've had this discussion though. You can't be a one lift specialist. You can't even be a subtotal specialist.
Yeah.
You have to be a powerlifting specialist these days to get to like those heights. So me and you, Jurins, we just need to fucking get our shit together and bench something that doesn't make us want to cry. Basically.
Well, that bench is getting back. At one point, I'm thinking if I can't bench anymore in the next 2 years, I might just go back farming. But anyway, so yeah, Natalie, it's been a pleasure, and then we covered Sheffield and everything else and all of that. My last question to you is just like, of course, you've gone to World, you won, you are now at Sheffield. If there was an athlete at Sheffield that you would have loved to see, no, an athlete around the world, just in period, you would love to see at Sheffield and compete, men or women, literally any generation, right? And we're talking about open, junior, sub-junior. Who would that person be? And why though? And why? Even if that person hate you, as some people do hate you, like that person that you compete in America that hates you, you know what I mean? Even that person, you can name them, it's fine.
I'm trying to think of who I would really, really like to see because I'm biased and wanting to compete against them, like in my weight class and age group. But like, I guess when I was first like getting into powerlifting, and I pretty much knew immediately who John Hack was. That would be someone when he was, natty. Would be really cool to see him on the Sheffield stage. Obviously, it's not possible now that he's untested, but hypothetically, if he could come back to life as a natural powerlifter and stay that way, then I'd like to see him on Sheffield.
Doesn't mean he can still come back, because nowadays people go in that world, compete after 18 years, and they come back to IPF. So he can do
Who
that.
you on about? Name names, bro.
No, it's just experience.
Yeah, who, Jordan, too?
Huh?
Can we name names on this podcast? Who you on about?
No, I'm saying like I don't know anyone, but I'm saying people compete in that world, can they come back after a few years after getting cleaned?
Really?
I don't know.
Probably not. Shouldn't be allowed to.
No, it
They'll
shouldn't
get
be
done.
allowed.
They're very good at stuff like this now, I think.
Because I've seen a lot of people that banned and now they're competing.
Really? Who?
I went
name names, bro. What's wrong?
If you're gonna yell at me, you need to name names.
Yeah, I'm just about to say a name. Come on.
Go on.
In Malta, I went up against a guy from Chinese Taipei in the 83 that actually been banned in weightlifting twice. Life ban.
Okay.
And then switched to IPF and came to Malta and attempted a 302 squat.
Did he get it?
So he didn't get it, but he did get bronze on the squad. The one probably I couldn't get because I had 290. But yeah. But anyway, never mind. But I'm saying things like that happened. So John Hack, I have faith John Hack might come back one day. The way IPF.
Who would you want to see?
Well, at Sheffield.
At Sheffield,
I already know who you're gonna say.
Who?
You're gonna say Ray, aren't you?
I can't say Ray Williams because Ray's gone. He's done now.
No, but you said anyone. Do you know your own question, Jordan? Are you okay?
I'm not saying Ray. So why am I gonna say Ray for? I'm not saying.
You said past, present, or future.
Yeah, but I'm not saying Ray.
Okay, go on. Who then? Who?
Brett Gibbs.
Yeah, I thought it might be Brett. I'd love to see Brett back.
Yeah, Brett. To me, it's Brett because until now, I still believe he was the best and the strongest powerlifter when he was at his peak. And then even without the injuries, I don't think Russ would ever come close to him. Ever.
Yeah.
Brett was a savage.
Huh?
Brett was a savage.
He was savage. 865. Anyway, that is on the women's side. If you ask me, anyone I would see on that platform, potentially it would be all the lovely ladies out there that are competing. It would be nice for you to try your hardest and get on that platform. But
yeah. Shut up, Jordan. I have a final question. If you could give one piece of advice, or like 3 pieces of advice, 2 pieces, however many, to lifters that are up and coming and want to compete in the IPF, what would it be?
I think just the biggest thing that's helped me is take your time with training and focus on yourself. You aren't just going to walk out and break a shit ton of records and just be the strongest ever. You have to put years a little bit and take time in building your craft and your technique. So don't worry about what someone's doing right now, because if you just go into the session every single day and just focus on getting stronger, you will. That's how you get stronger, is just going in and doing the work. So as long as you're focusing on being consistent, then the results will show themselves.
Nice. Okay. I like that. Are you listening, Jordan? It's advice, man. It's advice to up and coming lifters.
Jesus. So I'm an upcoming lifters, right? I'm 35 years old, been lifting for 7 years, right? Jesus Christ, Indy. I've been in this game.
Bro, yeah, I know you have, but Natalie's 1 for 1, so GG.
Natalie, you know what? I don't even know why. I should have invited you last.
Yeah.
When I had all the world champion and you come in, and so I don't feel embarrassed.
Oh my God.
Right.
So, I mean, in terms of again, Natalie, it's been great. It's been a great chat. Literally, again, as I said, we are no hold bars here. We go all in. So,
yeah.
I know I've watched Leah and the rest of the guys are literally talking their shit in terms of what they want to do at Sheffield. But again, your message is clear. I'm gonna do bitch in town. You do what you want to do, but I'm just coming there to annihilate all of you guys. That's the message I got from you. Am I wrong?
Are those my words? Okay.
No, that's what I perceive from you.
Okay,
Am I wrong?
No, I guess you're right. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So, on that note, guys, so anyone who's listening to us, guys, if you have a message or whatever you need to say to Natalie, look, Natalie, she's a very lovely American, right? She's an American that likes people, even though that person that doesn't like Natalie, that one Natalie compete against, she still love you. Right? So anything you have, DM Natalie. Even I've been saying this to people. If you message Natalie Richards, because she's such a big athlete, she has got a big following, and she's a world champion, the best female lifter on the planet at the moment. If she doesn't reply to you, reach out to me. I'll ask Natalie why. Why is she being like any other American? You know, I thought she was
Thank you.
down to earth. So on that note, guys, follow us. Drop us a DM if you wanna come to the podcast. Drop myself or Indy a note, and then we'll be able to accommodate you. So peace out, guys.
Thank you, Natalie.